Hey, what's up, guys? This is Shawn over here at Lee Dragon. And once again, this is the business spotlight of the week. And I got my man, James Rivers with Pimp, my GHL. What's going on, James?
Hey, what's going on, my man? Happy
Good, man.
to be on the call, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being on the show because we wanted to kind of highlight your business because over the past month or so, we've been to different conferences and we've just got a lot of, quite honestly, we've got a lot of messages that we can't even get back to. And they're asking us about how we've grown our business. How did we get to, over 100 users and then just over, I guess, a year now. And you were kind of a big part of it because I think we came to you probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
And we'd found you through through the group or whatever. And we're like, you know what, we got our name. We started with some colors. We don't like it. Can you help us out? And obviously the name of your business, Pimp My GHL, that worked perfect. We wanted to get pimped out. So you did. We got our blue color and everything else. And all the little things that you add from time to time, we enjoy that as well. So
Yes.
so our listeners can kind of find out a little bit more about you. I want you to kind of explain. I always like to let people know how you got into the business, because as me and you just talked off camera, I'm probably one of the oldest guys that most people will see that's in the agency business, if you will, sitting in the agency space, and you're in your 40s. So what got you into marketing or into the tech space in general?
Yeah, it's quite a story. So when I've been online for about, I think I'm on my 15th year now. I started out doing website design development. I left my corporate job. So you can imagine 15 years ago, the kind of money I'll mention, but I was at a 6-figure job, more than happy, but not happy at the same time. And I'm always a guy thinking 5 years ahead. I had worked my way bottom of the top, several companies. And I thought, you know what, I think I can make this on my own. I don't know what I want to do. I started dabbling in design, Photoshop, making a few minor websites, nothing crazy. And then I remember sitting in the office one day and I was like, you know what? I don't think I can see myself here in another 5 years. And I knew my bonus was coming up potentially if we did get it, achieve it. And we did. So long story short, I got a $50,000 bonus that year, which was awesome. Again, 15 years ago, even today, by any standards, 50,000 additional income is amazing.
Yep.
So I figured, hey, I can make it or break it probably on 50, right? Even if I suck for a year, I've got enough to live on for hopefully a year and make a little bit of money and, fall forward kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've always been interested in marketing and masterminds and various things. I was doing a bit of that long before making that transition. And that's kind of where I got started in the online space. I did website design, development. I love the marketing side way more than the website side. So I kept really diving deep, like most new people when they get in. You and I both work with a lot of people that are new to the business. Doesn't matter their age, they're just new to the business. And then you're just chasing everything to find out what do you like, what don't you like, what works, what doesn't work. And that was me in those first, that first year. And I think I did pretty good. Considering we don't have the tools like high level and various things now. We had to bandage everything together. I don't even remember if Zapier was around, to be honest, back then.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we would always find ways to bring everything together. High level obviously saves a huge chunk of time now that we have all these tools kind of combined in one. And then fast forward, I worked with everybody from fitness professionals, which I still work with today, to doctors, lawyers, dentists. Those were my main core kind of clients I got. I started working in the fitness space. I started working with a lady by the name of Natalie Joe, very, very well-known fitness person. And it's funny how people get, I'm not sure if this helps with the viewers, but now everybody hits the DMs and we're used to getting DMs from people. I had hit that person. That wasn't a thing 15 years ago, right? And if it was really not talked about. Right. So I hit her and her at the time boyfriend up. They're now married. And all I did was give nothing but value. I said, hey, I've been watching you guys for a while. I love what you guys are doing. I can see you're doing a lot of things right. And honestly, I wish I could remember the tip I gave them, but I gave them a tip that I said, hey, if you do this over the next 30 days, you're going to see a nice jump in your income. I just gave it for free. And I've always been a person to give value where I can.
Mhm.
So I totally forgot I left a message. 30 days go by, I get contacted by both of them, and they're like, James, who are you? They're like, you gave this free tip to us. We actually applied it, and we added an additional $60,000 to our business in that short a time. They're like, would you mind jumping on and back then everybody jumped on Skype. We jumped on Skype back
Yep.
then. And that kind of like really shot the business through the roof, because I started working with her, started working on all our brands. We would do, all these crazy launches. I don't know how long you've been online or doing this, but I got started in the time of Mike Fasane and Jeff Walker and all that,
Oh, wow.
like product launch formula and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So I applied what I learned in product launch formula to their business, and we were doing 6-figure launches over a week many times.
Mm.
I had one client where we did a 7-figure. We had so much money come in that PayPal shut the account down. Even though we call PayPal every day, we're like, we know this happens. There's no funny business going on. This is a business. We've been calling you guys every day. We know we can't get a rep, but we don't want any issues.
Yeah.
Sure enough, 4 days in, we had collected just shy of $700,000 4 days in. And then we had to make the switch to not Stripe. We went to another company at the time, another popular one, still around now. It's just not coming online. And then we had, for the next 7 days, we collected on the all the money through their other account, and PayPal held the money, believe it or not, for 6 months.
Wow.
6 months for that company. Yeah. So I got started with all that fun stuff. I love doing that. That was like, really, really fun marketing. That's when product launches were fairly new, way back when.
What year
and I
was
just
that?
never lost.
What time period?
I would say that specific one would be about 14 to 13 years ago, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
while back.
Yeah.
I'm a baby in the space, and compared to that, I mean, just 3 years into our agency, but that's crazy, man. Even those stories, the PayPals and the holding the money, that still goes on today, which is crazy.
Yeah.
To me.
Yep. I warn people all the time, like the two most popular, like, listen, PayPal is known as the most trusted. Unfortunately, it helps the clients more, so your customers more than you, because they seem to have the upper hand. I've seen that.
Sure.
I've tried to help clients through those rebuttals. Stripe, I've never had any issues with. They seem to be pretty solid, and have a little bit lower fees too. So that's always been a nicer thing about Stripe.
Oh,
But, yeah. So that's kind of how things evolved. I went through all these fun times of doing that, really cranked it up, started working with various people of influence online, of influencers back then, before they were even called influencers back then, right? Got to apologize. The wife's
you're
coming
fine.
home,
Just
the
keep going.
dogs are going.
Hey, that's fine.
So then from there, because I started working with the fitness professionals and they started seeing what I was doing, I started getting referrals. People were reaching out to me. And I honestly did not have to advertise for nearly a decade, like
Wow.
zero, because one, that was also the good old days of Facebook. You didn't have to pay to play, or Instagram. You didn't have to pay to play. Like, some of my clients, we would really literally craft their emails, the email sequences, do this mini product launch, and then we'd like pick the day that we're going to go live with things, and literally money would fall in their accounts just from posting on their wall or their Instagram page. It was crazy. Good times, very good times. I miss those days.
we say here in the South, those the good old days, huh?
100%. They definitely were the good old days. Now you got to pay to play, and you're always constantly figuring out. You got to have either you got to be good at it, or you got to hire some people that are good at that.
And on another note, it's funny you were talking about all that. I just read I don't know if it's an article or somebody was commenting the other day that the YouTube and probably even the Facebook space, that more and more people are getting away from running ads. So the cost could go down. So, if we're lucky, and then within next year, maybe we can get back to some of those good old days where guys like us can jump in with some ad spend, and it'd be like the old days. We'll see, but until then, we'll just keep rocking it like it is. But a similar story, like what we're going through now with, with high level, we've got the lead dragon that you've helped us with, the UI, is that we don't really, the only ads that we run currently are just our retargeting from our website, because we did kind of the same thing you were doing. A lot of the people who are listening may know our story, but just a quick version of, I found some influencers and started a affiliate program. And then now those people, I've got probably almost 20 affiliates now, and that's my sales team. And I just work them, and that we get the referrals from them. It works great for everybody. Less stress, to be honest with you.
Curious, sorry to overtalk, but do you guys also offer a nice incentive for those referrals as well?
We do. There's a percentage for that. And, anybody in the high level space that's watching this is that, everybody teaches that, when you get somebody on high level, because it's such a great system, but you got to make it sticky and get them some quick wins right away. Well, that's a major win. When somebody starts getting a check from me because they've referred somebody through that system, they like it.
Yeah.
They like it. So, and then I coach them up to, because my goal is to try to pay them more. Because if I'm paying them more, that means they're getting us more customers. You know the deal. You're doing the same thing. I've got a free masterclass I'm hosting with one of our affiliates next Monday night. She just started promoting today. She's already got over 300 people signed up for the class. She'll probably have thousands.
Amazing.
So we'll get on that class. I'll go through our spiel of what we can do to help them grow their business with Lead Dragon, which is, high level background. And she'll probably get, who knows, maybe 10, 15, 20 people sign up for Lead Dragon. We'll get paid. She'll get paid. We're all happy. And that's one thing, that's what I was going to kind of tell you before we kind of jump in with some questions I have for you, is that I'm a baby in this industry compared to you and others, because I've really just been in it 3 years. But I think anybody, if they have the right business acumen and they have the right creative mind, can jump in and really run with it. But one of the things I've learned, James, is that just like any business, it's a lot easier to, for one, have a good business partner, which I do with Javier, and Javier, and then to collaborate with others like you, Matt, other people. Like, you can't build an empire by yourself. I mean, it's tough.
No.
Even Elon Musk has got thousands and thousands of people around him, right? You just don't see them. So one of the things Javi and I are good at right now is like, we're building our tribe, right? Because we're in the trenches. Like, I told you before we got on, not gonna lie, it's been tough this past year getting over, signing up over 100 users, because, the mistakes, the wins, the losses, everything, have to pivot, go back and forth. But it's been worth it. Now, I was on a podcast yesterday. Now, like a year ago, we were making decisions that made that much difference. Now, when we make decisions and things we do, it's a bigger difference. That's where I'm seeing the app. So you go from the small difference to the big difference. Like even doing shows like this with you, this is huge for us. And we appreciate you being on, because a year ago, I would have never dreamed that I would have somebody like James on our show to be able to let people know what they can do to build out their high level any way they want to. So let me stop kind of rambling, and I'll just kind of jump right in, because I know people who are watching the show want to see this. So one of the first questions that we wanted to cover was like, what makes a good user interface for customer experience? And if you feel free to share your screen too, if you want to kind of show them kind of like what you do to kind of get started, that'd be perfect.
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing, and we'll take you into your account in a minute, is, high level. It's very vanilla to begin with. It's a very clean slate when you get a no CSS or no customization. We worked on a theme over the weekend. This gentleman he was actually one of the first 50 clients of high level. So he was like right from the get-go. He has a very interesting clientele. And his clientele is actually, because he works with all the banks of America, they're all, he said, 40 years plus. So we had to do some additional customization, one, to make the interface so it's very clear where different buttons are, right? And out of the box, it's really not that clear with high level, right? I know they're constantly improving the UI themselves, but I think they put a little bit more time onto the features and a little bit less on the design, but I see that they're evolving in that side as well. So we had to spend quite a bit of time to, like, that's one thing we always do. We like to keep that contrast in various areas.
Mm-hmm.
And we even bumped up the text size because he's like, hey, all my demographics 40 plus, these guys can't see. He's like, my dad is my best sales guy, and he's 80 some years old, right?
Yeah.
And he works high level. And the feedback after they got the theme was, he's like, my dad loves it. First he wasn't sure, and now he's like, he just can't stop looking at it. He loves it. So that just makes us feel good that when we know that we're branding it to make it look great for the user and match their brand. Secondly, when we're adding these, personal touches to make it, work for that specific niche, or just work for that individual, for their customer requests that they may have, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want, let me let me get my screen fired up here. We'll jump into kind of like your main account here.
No worries. Yeah, I can relate to the bigger text. At 52, I've caught myself using a magnifier page to do some of my reading, so I can relate.
Yeah.
So who knows? I may have to reach out to you one day and get bigger text for mine.
Oh, 100%. We can do that. No problem. Especially in the conversations area. That's where most people find, because they're spending most times. They spend the most time here in your dashboard, your conversations. Other than that, their pipeline. That's the 3 core areas that I've, like, after working with 500 plus agencies, we kind of realized that that's where most people kind of like to play and do their things. Of course, if they're building workflows and stuff, that's going to be a little bit longer to, there'll be a little bit time in there. But once the snapshot and once things are kind of built and perfected, they're spending less time in those areas unless they go back and add more cool things to it.
Absolutely. So all those that are watching, this is our actual Lead Dragon system. He's in one of our demo accounts. And, like I said in the beginning, I think me and Javier tried to attempt to change some things a year ago, but then that's when we found you, and then you come in here and just really made it look right. So
yeah. So what we did with you is we took your main colors. This is what we do with everyone we work together. So you guys had this, this core blue color. You wanted some of the gray brought in. We did this with your buttons in here. I think you guys wanted the text to be yellow and kind of bold in here to stand out for this area and here. Something new that we started adding this year with our update design. One, we made these panels kind of pop out really nice. The tasks are really nice. They pop out. So if it's late, it's going to be the color you see on the screen. If it's up and coming, it'll be like a soft yellow. If you checked it off the box, boom, it goes green. We just added this feature as well, which is, by the way, just so you know, it's going to go back up here. We're just doing a little tweak to the code right now, and then that's going to live right up here again.
Okay.
But this opens up to a full page, right, with all your tasks in it, right? We recently added this to your account. Another cool thing we just added in here as well, that we literally just rolled out. We have about 4 more clients left to roll this out to, but this feature right here, if I zoom in, you can see the number of unread messages, right?
Yeah, we love that.
This is huge. And from a marketing perspective, I got to share with you the feedback we've had from people that we've already made this live with, because we were doing a bit of testing before we started rolling it out to everyone. The feedback, and this is a great way to take your marketing. A lot of agencies will get the pushback from our clients, and they're like, hey, Shawn, your stuff's not working. It sucks. And they boo-hoo you, the leads, whatever. And they're saying negative things, right? Or they're just saying, hey, we're not getting sales, right? And then imagine you come into their account and you open it up and you see 200 unread messages. Right away, you're like, before you didn't know how many unreads, because it would just say load more.
Exactly.
Load more, right? So now if you see that there's, greater than 30 messages in here, you can scroll in here, have a quick look and say, hey, Shawn, no problem. Let's have a look at your account here. And you look through and you're like, hey, this person's interested. That person's interested. They're saying, reach back to me. And these are still sitting unread. And we've only hit, load more a couple times here. You've got over 300 of these messages to go through. You're literally sitting on money, right? So now you can put the onus back on them. So a simple little add-on, tool like this makes the world of difference, how you can have conversations with your users, right? When they want to give that pushback back to you sometimes, right? That's just one way of doing it, but that's a really cool feature that we just added in there. And then of course, we've got this one too, This is great. You can click this button here. And then if you're doing a live demo like this, and let's say you're in a live customer account
Yeah.
instead of like an actual demo account, you can still do that and flick this feature on and talk about all the cool features about your own CRM and not have to worry about what's popping up. Because man, we could be on this live call and all of a sudden messages start shooting up in here, and it may
That's
be
correct.
good, it may not be good, right?
Correct.
So keep that in mind. That's a really cool feature we have in here as well. So yeah, I think you guys are kind of seeing, you asked that main question about, creating that, what creates a nice user experience. We added in, all the different kind of like, buttons, the rollovers to make it very clear as to what does what. In many cases, we'll do like a red and a green. So red is anything that's like cancel, remove, delete, any of those, anything that's a positive kind of connotation thing, we'll make that a green button. Or in your case, we brought that in some cases to your primary color, your blue color, right?
Yeah.
But we still incorporate some green for some other spots in here, just to not make it so blue on the screen in many cases. And I'll show you guys, we've done like a number of themes, like, these guys, they have a crazy colorful theme. Look at the color.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really cool one up there.
Yeah, we just did their update. Look, here's an example one right here, 108 unread messages, right? So imagine you're talking to me and I'm boohooing your marketing and you're like, James, you've got 108 unread messages in here. Let's just have a quick peek at those, right? So makes for, good conversation with people for doing that. We customize everything from the login screen to the back end of high level to the main area that you're kind of seeing here on the screen. We do have a new feature. Do you mind if I share a feature? It's not
sure, man.
It's just something that we're working on. And a lot of people, let's go into this account here. A lot of people don't like the launch pad, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yep.
Yeah, they either want to axe it or they like to replace it with something else. So after getting some feedback from some people, this is kind of what we've already done this for a couple clients already. We haven't decided on our own specific one for our accounts. I'm going to show you just a rough version of the one that we're bringing in our account. So imagine this could be, you right here. You'd be like, hey, this is Shawn from Lead Dragon, and you take them into the experience of what the CRM is, and now you can lead them into an onboarding experience or a quick start experience, right?
Wow.
If you do have the training in here, you can take them quickly there. If you've got a ticket system, cool. They know how to always get you nice and easy. A lot of people will put, a chat widget down here as well, but this is kind of great to have this right here. These right here in the accounts we've done them for, these need to be dynamic. If for the clients that want this kind of cool thing,
yeah.
If I click this, it's going to actually go into conversations, right? If I click that, it'll go to conversations or workflows, etc. So these are a little bit more tricky to add, but we've done that. And then imagine this, like this is just a sample. So imagine what you could do with something like this. You can include everything from your support desk, your office hours, Facebook group, boot camp, training center, or forget all this. Maybe you just want to make it a really nice onboarding experience. You can have onboarding video 1, 2, and 3. Maybe you've got an onboarding form down here with all the next steps, and then you lead right into the boot camp training. Because what we've discovered working with a lot of agencies, a lot of people, once they get their stuff dialed in, they have very specific systems that they have their clients do. They actually remove quite a bit of the sidebar, right? Because they don't want them to be distracted. They don't want them building websites. They don't want them doing, reporting, reputation management, payments. They're like, no, we don't want them doing all that, because we do the part of the marketing for them, or if they follow our exact system, they get results. So they eliminate, that's my big tip for you guys, is to eliminate as much as possible when it's wrapped around your system that you create. And that's where this page can come in, is you can create that onboarding experience.
Oh, man.
You could have something that's your quick start training, and boom, you've got like a whole video series, or you can take them into a high level membership,
James,
page where you've got.
I got one question. When is this coming?
Yeah.
When is this coming? This option?
We're working on it now. We've got 3 clients that we've been working on this concept already and going live. I can't take into the one account now, like a couple of them now, because I didn't get permission ahead of time to do that. But I can certainly jump on with you after we kind of go through and share some more details on this. But Yeah, imagine this replacing your, that whole launch
Oh
pad,
man, you
creating
have
that
no
nice
idea.
experience.
Me and Javier have been talking about this, something like this. I can't wait to share this with Javier, what's going to be able because, we almost kind of put together something outside of all this, similar to this, but it's
Yeah,
just to make it so much easier that it's right here because, yeah, we're not a giant fan of the Launchpad section either, or one of those.
no,
Um, and I think everybody should be able to have it the way they want it. And that's what's so cool about what you guys are doing is that, basically from what you've shared with us and what you've done for us, um, there's not a whole lot of limits of what you can do to
no,
pimp this thing out, really.
no. We keep getting more and more cool requests, and like some things are super unique. Like we had one client last week. He reached out, he's like, James, I create a very unique link with Typeform, and I pull that data in when someone fills in a form. It all comes into high level from Facebook. I don't know where he's getting the initial like info from, but he pulls it in and he creates a unique Typeform link. And then what he wants is when you're in like opportunities and you go into a card, what we're able to do for him, what he had to do, let me explain what he had to do. He had to go into an opportunity card, open it up, go into the contact details, copy that entire link, and then open it up in a new tab. He's like, I know it's not like a lot of steps, but can I have that so that's a clickable link, but on top of the opportunity card?
Wow.
I said, I don't know if we can do it. I reached out to the dev team. They got back in an hour. They're like, yep, it'll just take us 3 days. We'll have it live. And
Wow.
it's live. And he loves it. It's just a little link. And he's like, his sales guys can click on it. What it does, by the way, it's kind of really neat. So I learned these little interesting things that different agencies are doing. When he opens it up, it's answering certain details about where that client is in the journey. And depending on what options you choose, it's going to lead to a different path and then set off other automations, workflows, right? So if they're at like a certain part of the journey, boom, it's going to open up a script and they know how to talk to that person,
Yeah,
right? If they're a
absolutely.
little bit further along, boom, it sends them the full information they're looking for. And I was like, hey, that's really neat how we, came up with that. And then he was so happy. He's like, James, I can't tell you how much like the staff loves this. All the sales guys, they just have to click a link now when they're on a call with someone and boom, fill it in quick. And they're like, it's so much faster. So we get a bunch of crazy requests. That's all I can say. Like we've done so many crazy things. One thing that I think you guys saw this. If I go into contacts, I don't know if I refresh the screen here since we got started. Let me just bring up my own name here. I'm sure I got a test one in here. Hopefully we do. Yeah. So in here, as you can see, a couple things, we make that like the messaging center wider and various things in here. One thing that a lot of people complain about is the custom fields, right? So this is a really cool solution that we came out with, and we've taken all our custom fields now and we group them, right? So let's say this was your card, Shawn, and I'm like, hey, Shawn just filled in the copywriting form. I can click this and now go check out all your responses in here, right? Now, I always tell people custom fields are great. It's nice that you can organize them like this, but always push them to a note as well. A lot of agencies or new people using high level, they don't realize that they should do that. Use an automation that takes whatever, survey form, whatever they're filling in, push it into notes, because listen, this same contact can come back 2 months later, 6 months later, fill in that same thing again. They may not have been ready. Now they're ready. Well, now you've got a history sitting under notes, right? Of course, you can email yourself and various things as well, but yeah, how cool is that feature too? This was a feature that we used to custom code this on for people, and it would cost our own hard cost anywhere from $500 all the way up to about $1,200. And then we'd have to put a tiny little upcharge on it to do this. And that would be sometimes for just one account or maybe 2 or 3 accounts.
Yeah.
This solution here, it just works with the dev team. Like we kind of came up with the idea. They took my idea and they took their idea. We came together. We used a Google Sheet. So couple easy codes that you can copy paste into your agency, open up a Google Sheet. It's already got some titles and everything in it. You just put your own titles in and then you just start copy pasting all these over. So if I open up one of these, you're just literally going to copy that from here to your Google Sheet in the exact order you want them, refresh this page, and it's going to look like this, right?
Wow.
So, which is way better than a very long, like some people have 500 plus custom fields, believe it or not. So they're like, this tool is amazing. So we're always innovating. We're always coming up with things. For any of the viewers like that are watching, if you have something that you're like, can a high level do this? Hey, reach out to myself or my partner Amit. We'll reach out to our team and we'll see if we can, close that gap for you, because there's so many things that are very unique to different industries, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I'll share with you, I know I was going to be one of your questions. I don't have that one up, but let's say in here, if we come in up here, you know how this says opportunities, pipeline, conversion rate. We can change these things too. So in some examples, we worked with, people in the dental space and the car dealership space, and we've changed the wording to reflect that industry, right? Like, patient acquisition or patient conversion. Instead of like opportunities, it's pipeline, whatever they want. We've literally customized all these different stages on purpose. So that way, it feels very, very specific for their niche, right?
Yeah.
So that's a thing that we do as well. That's a bit more custom work, but when it makes sense when you're in those specific verticals and you're not like, to the masses kind of thing. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Now it's my turn to ramble for a bit, so I'll let you ask more questions.
One of the things is, and we realized this when we were out in Texas at High Level's first event that we got a chance to go to, and it was an incredible event. So if you're listening and watching, anytime they have an event, go. You're going to meet some great people, learn some big things. One of the things, even though a lot of people have, kind of they're customized like we have with our lead dragon, there's still a lot of people that don't. And guys, if you're watching this, it's important, if you really want to kind of separate your brand, if you will, is to get that customization of this, because it's a mixed kind of a mixed batch out there. Some people don't care to have a brand, to get it colored like this. Some people just keep the regular High Level, and that's fine too, because people are going to find out it's High Level anyway. But we chose to do it because we wanted to separate ourselves, and it really helped having the brand, the colors, because now people recognize us and they know who we are. I
love your logo, by the way. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I love it.
It's the shield. It's like,
I know,
medieval shields. It's the shield. It's the slaying the dragon. And we come up. Me and Hobby sat for hours trying to come up with a name, but the word lead. Obviously, when somebody says lead,
perfect,
they think of I'm gonna get a deal. Dragon. I mean, who doesn't like the word dragon, right? I mean. It's just the coolest thing. So we put it together. It's like, okay, here we go. Put the shield with it, and that really got it going. Anybody that is watching this, before we move on to the next question, if you'll look in our site at agencysas.io, we have a link in there that specifically goes straight to James's business, to where you can check him out, and you can look at any services he has. He'd be glad to talk to you. And I'm telling you guys, we probably wouldn't have got as far as we've got without the right things that he's put in ours. Even this little simple conversation one, that little number thing is huge. Because like you just said, when you were saying that, James, I was looking on my other screen. I pulled up just a random user over here. The number of people that have in their conversations. We have a lot of them that connect it to their DMs, and the DMs will clog it up. Yes. And that's what I'm going to start reaching out and sending videos. It's like, hey, look, it's cool you got your DMs in there, but now we've actually got it to where you can see how many unread you've got. It'll probably help them start deciding to just cut their DMs off coming into the system, so they can handle it. Because like you said, they're getting their messages in there mixed up. They're probably not seeing the money text because of all the DMs. So thank you for doing that, the numbers on the conversations. So this leads me into the next question, and I kind of told you about this earlier. Because people want to know, what's the craziest high-level redesign request you've ever had? Maybe it was colors, maybe it was just totally changing it. What was it?
I don't know. We've done some crazy colors like this one. This one was very unique. We
I
actually
like that
just
one.
gave it a we just gave it a revamp 2 days ago. It was fairly close to this. We just had more like color coming up from the bottom up into this area up here. Um, I remember jumping out with these guys. Great set of people. They're doing some really cool things. Um, they're like, James, we've got the rainbow, but don't give us the rainbow like in our logo,
I
right? They're
got you.
like, have fun with the colors, but don't overdo it, but don't underdo it. We love the playfulness. We love like
Yeah,
the craziness of our colors. So please incorporate as much as possible, but
I like it.
try not to make it look like a rainbow. And you can see like the charts turned out fantastic in
Yeah,
here. You know, we add a little colors effects in here and various things. We try and dazzle in as much as we can with your brand if that's your direction. We also, you brought up another point, like for people that don't want crazy branding. um, I have one up, but I have a better example, but I don't have it up. But this is an example. We can just do like very
it's simple. Yeah,
manila, very
absolutely.
simple. Put in a logo in here. We've got effects in here that change these to a favicon up here in the corner, and
Yeah,
this keeps it super clean, right? We took away the charts in here because, like you brought up earlier, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to see those charts. It's kind of a dead giveaway, a high level. And to be honest, we can never mask high level. Like we can't.
correct.
Like man, if you go to the website builder and it pops open and you had high level previously, you're like, oh, I didn't know, but now I know. Are you going to many different of these individual pages? You're gonna know it's high level,
You're
no
gonna
matter how
figure that.
pretty you
Yeah,
make it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We teach that over here. It's like we had a call with Paulson from High Level last week. Was on the Lunch and Learn, and we
Yep.
told everybody who's on the call is like, look, don't hide from it. Just lean in on it because
Yeah.
I mean, we're 3 years into High Level out there. People are going to know. I just got off before I got on with you. I was on a discovery call with our marketing agency, and the guy we were talking about, the CRM and the automation, and he had mentioned something about he knows about High Level, and I
Yep.
didn't try to skate away from it. I said, "Oh, absolutely, that's what we build our system off of. We've added to it, with what
On
you've
top of
done.
it.
We've added
Yep.
support, the master classes, the training." I said, "You can go straight to High Level and pay a fee, but you get just the skeletons, and you work with
Yeah.
that if you want to, or you
Longer
come to
learning
it."
curve.
Correct. We come to a company like us that's already tweaked it, and we're going to customize the snapshots, the automations to fit your business. When I tell them that, they're like, "Oh, okay," and then I just move on to the next thing. It's
Yeah.
never been an issue for us, as long as that anybody's listening. Is that just if you lean into it and you're certain about what you're doing, it won't be an issue. If you make it
No.
an issue, it will be an issue if you make it an issue. But
Yeah.
learn to just repeatedly talk about it, but then tell them the things that you're doing to help, help them further along in their business. So,
Right.
yeah, I like this one. This one that you got on the screen, this gives me an idea. Like if somebody was really going to be in a space to where they're going to go after franchises and stuff, a good vanilla one like this would be very good.
Yeah.
So
You
you go
actually
from
bring up.
one end of the extreme to the other, which is amazing.
Yeah, we've gone from complete color to lack of color and very minimal. I'm going to show you another cool feature. I don't even know if I've shared this one with you guys, but we have the ability to go into to have multiple themes
Mhm.
inside of an account. So you brought up corporation, right? So I'm going to type in sub. I think it's sub here. Yeah.
Multiple
So
themes. I think you did kind of mention that before, and we've thought about that. So show me what you mean here.
yeah. So imagine, okay, like let's say we want to go to this one, right? I'm going to click into this one. Boom, it just changed. I didn't leave CRMs. I didn't change
Okay.
tabs. I'm
Okay.
still inside the exact same high level account. So imagine, I'll give you a use case of this, right? We have one client, one of the first clients that came out to us that needed this. Half of his agency sells to other agencies and coaches. The other half, he's got a whole, I think he calls it the Law Accelerator Program, right? So he sells to different people with law firms. So because he sells a system, if you happen to buy like, if you're a law client, right, you're going to get a very specific logo, and we can give it custom to that each individual person if we wanted. but he has his Law Accelerator logo up here. And then if it's an agency or a coaching client, they have a whole other look and a different logo for that. And then he had one like lawyer that was like, his name is James too. He's like, James, I love this, but can I have my own, brand in there and my own logo in the corner? So James reached out, he's like, can we do a third one in my account? And this guy will pay. He's like, I'll just take your price and double it and charge him for it. And I said, yeah, go ahead. Let me know the colors. And then we did that. So then whenever you go to his specific account, it's wildly different with colors, his own logo in the corner, his own custom loading icon. Not like you saw that when we're switching screens, it has a custom loading icon as well. So that's a neat feature too. Like you're bringing up, you're kind of asking questions. What are the wild and crazy things? Like even this, I had no idea that this would be possible until someone reached out and I was like, huh, let's find out. And then we, collaborate with the team and we found a way to make this happen. And it works pretty seamless. If I go into like another one, right? Put in sub, we'll pick another, random one here. Let's see. Oh, we got you guys in here, right? Put your sample one in here, right? So if I bring that one up, and this is actually nice when I'm doing like demos and various things too, because now I can like pop it out and not have to go into specific people's accounts in order for me to do a demo. So I use it for a little bit different purpose, but where most users would use this, imagine you wanted to keep even a theme like the one that we were just in, the one, this one here. Imagine you want to keep it pretty vanilla, but you wanted to customize it so everyone can have their own logo, right?
Yep.
Then it's a custom experience for that person logging in, right? If I've got my Titan logo up here, that's, you got your lead dragon up here and it's your own account, you're going to feel like, hey, this is mine, right? We don't get these experiences with certain other CRMs like HubSpot and various things.
Yeah.
Right. And HubSpot, I believe they keep their branding fairly manila as well, even though their main branding has like those orange colors in it. The actual CRM does not. So imagine having that where you can just upload your own logo for every individual sub account and pop that in. And now it feels like theirs. And that's the feedback, by the way, that we get from people. Like even that one lawyer client, he got back to James. He's like, James, I can't tell you how amazing this feels to log in. And it feels like it's just been custom tailored for me specifically.
Yeah.
Like it was well worth the money, right?
Yeah. You're giving me ideas because like for anybody that's watching is like, this is a good way to, even if you have a normal name like Lead Dragon like us, if we decided to get into another niche, because 75% of our users are in a certain niche, the financial literacy. We could actually, if we found another niche that we know that, okay, we just signed up 10, 15, 20 of them. Ooh, wow. We could go to James and name it whatever for that niche. Like you said, that does help psychologically if they're logging in and they see specific to their niche, that helps. Like
100%, man.
A Lead Dragon is a pretty broad name, which it has worked well. But if we think of another niche, like we just and as soon as we get off this cast, I'm going to mention to you one that we have a shot at going after what niche and see what you think. That might be an incredible way to us just to have the other theme or name in that one, and without changing anything else other than the logo
just
part.
The logo.
Yeah.
I think a theme like this is one of the best styles for that, because then if someone supplies you a colored logo, 9 times out of 10 it's going to look great up here, right? If you just so you know too, when you're thinking of doing this, if you have a darker sidebar, which you guys kind of have that darker look in here, yes, we can revert it to white, but some logos don't look great white because they have, it's very intricate and has overlapping stuff and it loses its detail, right? So something to think about for that as well. Or if you're doing it like that one client that's in 2 different spaces and you just make your something program and you just have that type of logo in the corner, that may make sense for you as well. I got one other feature I'll share with you that's coming that you guys may like. We've been requested this. So a lot of people are in the real estate space. Basically this works for anyone in the sales space, right? Or for any of your sales people or your setters, right? Your appointment setters. So we're going to have the ability to have a little button up here, right? We can place it in different spots, but we've got lots of real estate up here. So if we add another button up here, Imagine clicking this, and then it opens up its own model box, model, however you pronounce that.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, what we can do is we can link that to any of your pages that you have built. So a simple high-level page, and it iframes inside its own little frame. And then you can click a button and it will go full screen. But the nice thing is if I click here, or I click here, or I click anywhere, it still stays up on the screen at any given time, right? So it's always up. But now imagine if I've got different types of scripts up there, again, depending on the prospect I'm talking to and the journey that where they are. Now, as I'm speaking with them, I can have this pop in here, and now I can read through and it sounds natural until you get really familiar with your own script for your, if I'm a new sales guy and I'm trying to learn it, it's kind of nice that it's up here and I can talk to that person depending on what stage of the journey they're at, right?
Wow.
So that's another cool feature we got coming as well. We actually need to put together a full page of all these cool things that we're doing. We have not done that yet, and we need to focus on that. We've been so busy, we haven't had time to spend the time putting that page together with all these little cool things that we're working on in the background.
Yeah, that would be
it's
good.
coming though.
Yeah. Kind of the last question I really had for you today was, if you have any insight on this, where do you see high level going in terms of optimization? Is it going to stay that easy like it is for you to be able to do what you need to do, or are they going to make it better? How do you feel about what they're?
You mean on the high level? You mean high level and compared to what we do?
Well, yeah, like as far as like obviously they're getting better and better with a lot of stuff they do, but you'll always have the ability to, from what you see, to be able to do themes like this, right?
Always, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think that's ever going to go away. High level's not taking that away. There's a few areas I wish they would open up a little bit more for us. We are going to have the ability to do some really custom dashboards coming very soon, where we can actually set up your own KPIs. We can have like a threshold. So let's say you're like, hey, we need 50 bookings a day or a week. And if it falls below 25, we want that to show like a red color. When it goes above 25, maybe we wanted a yellow color. And when it's like, 90% of our goal, maybe we want that to be green, right? We'll have the ability to do those kind of cool things. So those kind of like neat things are always, in the background, and they're always going to be available for anyone who has like a background like us, or reaches out to someone who has a background like us. Do it. Like, don't be afraid to reach out to people like us in the high level group, because there's a few of them. I'm not the only one. There's a few in the space. You mentioned Matt earlier with the support tool that you guys use up here, right? Great little tool for providing support. And there's a few others in the group that do that as well. That's sorry, I kind of went away from your question. I think I kind of got lost in the detail.
No, that was good. And of course you don't have to share with us what you wish they could open up, but no, that's good, man. I just want people to know that, they have options. They can make this thing look any way they want to. So if they have an idea in their head, they just need to get with you, and you can put it on here. Yeah. So just as a reminder to everybody, I'll have the information above or below or in the post. Just go to agencysas.io, and you'll be able to find James's link in there. And James, on your link, I can't remember without pulling it up. Maybe you can pull it up. Do you have pricing on there, or is it better for them just to book a call with you on there?
Yeah, no, we got the pricing right on there. So we charge a one-time fee and a small monthly fee to do the theme. We include a lot of the features that you guys saw earlier on the call. Again, we do everything from customizing the login experience to the back end of high level to the front end, where most of us spend most of the time. And then we've got custom favicons and custom collapse features, custom loading icons, and then some of those other features we again went over. Yeah. And we're going to continue to add more. So that's part of the monthly that we charge. Some people ask, oh, why do you charge a monthly? Well, it's so we can keep your theme fresh. So when we actually got started, Shawn, we had like, I don't know, when we were less than 75 clients that we had done this for, it was pretty easy to stay going in and adding, going in individually to say to your account, applying a patch or a change. But after we got above 75 clients, we're like, we can't scale like this. So we actually reached out to our dev team. We're like, how do we do this? So when high level pushes the change, we can push a change to everyone's accounts same day without having to log into like 100 accounts, 500 accounts all at once. So now we have our own API. So just like High Level has their API, they push it to our accounts. If we wake up and we see a change, or we know a change is coming, example, I'll give you one example. Your login screen soon, everyone is going to have a Google sign in, right? Your login screen is already optimized for it. We've already done the work. So that way, when that feature does come live, it's already good to go on your account.
Good.
So we try and keep ahead whenever we see that we have time to be ahead of that, and we're not like, oh, new feature this morning. And if we do see a new feature, like when the new search feature came out, we literally had that buttoned up, no pun intended, in about 10 minutes, push it to everyone's accounts, and we had 0 emails that day. And I was like, this is so nice.
Yeah.
This is so nice.
Yeah, being able to stay ahead of that, that's good that you've got that ability. So guys, if you're watching, remember, if you don't have any customization, James your man. Even if you've got one that you tried yourself and you just don't like it, James your guy. Or if you've got one and you're like, hey, I just want to refresh and change it. So let me ask you this. If they got somebody else, whether it be somebody through a Fiverr or another company, and they did something, do you have the ability to come in and refresh it for them if somebody comes to you, if they're not happy with what they had? Okay.
Basically fix it if it's broken. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can look at the base code, see what their idea was. Basically, we'll find out exactly what were you trying to accomplish. Yeah. Obviously, it's broken, and then we can look to see if we can work with the existing code or just revamp it. Right, whatever's easier, whatever's the least amount of time, that's what we're going to do, because we want to keep our prices low for the end user as well. So whatever saves us the most time and gets the job done and keeps and makes that solution happen, we're going to do that for you.
That's perfect, man. James, thanks for being on the show with me today, because we've had a lot of requests, and I don't have time to answer the questions about, what does James do? What is this? What's that? It's like, let me get him on my show. Check out agencysas.io for his link, Pimp My GHL, and just, go with James, guys. I'm telling you, if you're on the, kind of on the fence, I mean, most people are watching this, they've seen our lead dragon, they've seen us on stage with Chase talking about all this. Just, this should be an afterthought for you, pimp it out and then go to work. That's all they need to do. Thanks again, James. I'll have you on the show again soon. That way we can go into new features that you're going to be able to put out there soon. Okay.
Awesome. Well, listen, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Appreciate it. See you guys. Wait for the next episode. I'm going to have to try to have one up here really soon. So until then, as always, go kill it.